So now we're ready to do the front cover. Before we do the front cover, we have to transfer our magnets. So you're going to use 3 of the small magnets, and you're going to put them half an inch in from the long edge, half an inch down from the side, half an inch up from down here, and basically in the middle here. So everything's like a half an inch in, and then I just make my marks where I'm going to be put my magnets, and I transfer them one at a time. So I'll put my 3 magnets here, get those down, and then I'll get my first transfer magnet on this top part, and I like to transfer 1 magnet at a time so I get it all squared away. So I want to make sure the folio is squared up, and then I transfer that top magnet. Transfer it, push it down, transfer it, and put some score tape over it to make sure it doesn't move. And then I do the bottom side. Same thing, I get this all squared up, have my transfer magnet here ready to be transferred, and push it down and get that transferred. And then the middle piece, I just put it there and it'll transfer on its own. So once those are transferred, put tape over all the magnets here and here. Now you can cover this flap. Now this flap, I used this paper. Here's a little bit that I have left. I use that. Now you do not have to use this stripe piece if you do not want to. That's just an extra step. I just liked the way it looked with this striped piece that's in the middle. So this flap is 1 3/4 inches, so it'd be 1 5/8 that you cut by 8 inches tall, and you would just round the edges before you adhere it down and ink it. Put that flap down. So this is done, and now we can do the top of this flap also, which is using the same paper, 8 inches tall by 1 5/8 inches wide. Put that paper down. And then I added this round circle punch. This is this is 3/4 of an inch, I believe. Black piece, 3/4 of an inch. Yes, it's 3/4 of an inch. And I added some Wink Stella, not that you can even see around the edge. And then I cut a piece with a 5/8 of an inch circle punch. Ink that and put it in the center of that 3/4 of an inch piece. And then I got this from the chipboard elements, that little piece there, and put that in the center. So it gives you that piece. And this is the bottom edge of it is like 3 7/8 inch from the bottom. So basically it's centered like that. So this whole flap is now done. You are going to now cover the front cover with this coral paper again. So you're going to go in and you're going to cut a piece that's 8 inches tall by 6 this is 6 1/2, so it's going to be 6 3/8 inches wide. And you're going to cover the whole back side with that paper, with this orange seashell paper. 8 inches tall, 6 3/8 inches wide. Ink the edges, put that down. Then you're going to cut a piece of black cardstock. Just pretend this is black cardstock. This piece is going to be 7 3/4 inches tall by 4 3/4 inches wide. Black cardstock. I added my scallop punch on the top like that, And then you're going to put that down, and you're just going to have it's going to be right there. You have a little bit of reveal all the way around where you see that orange. And this is like, it's not even 1/8 of an inch. What is that? It's, well, I guess it's almost 1/8 of an inch from the edge. And then it's just centered top to bottom. So the piece should fit in like this. This card is basically at the edge of the flap. So this card should be right at the edge of this flap, right there, like that. You are going to cover this card with this paper again, this paper, and it is going to be, the designer paper will be 7 5/8 inches tall by 4 5/8 inches wide. Use your scallop on it on the top also. Ink the edges and put that paper on this bottom piece. So that's down. Then you're going to cut another piece of black cardstock 4 1/8 by 6 1/8. And you are going to adhere this 1 inch up from the bottom and basically centered. So you're going to have that piece down like that. And on top of this 4 1/8 by 6 1/8 piece, you are going to be adhering this 4 by 6 card from the collection. So this is 4 by 6. So you're just going to cut her out with a little bit of that yellow all the way around, and then ink it and mount it on that 4 1/8 by 6 1/8 black cardstock. And that, remember, that is 1 inch up from the bottom of this back piece. So that's going to be like that. And then I just got this piece from the chipboard collection that says Voyage, and I just centered it with the card, and it's basically centered down here. I just had it a little bit closer to the top than the bottom. You can see how it is. It's like that. I inked it so there's no, you can't really see the gray color of the chipboard, so I just inked it all the way around so it looks nicer. And that's it for the cover. This side piece is using a 1/2 inch strip of this paper with the stripes going down in this direction. The back side is using the coral paper, again 8 inches tall by 6 3/8 inches wide, and 1 inch up from the bottom I adhered this paper from the border stripes, and this is the exact same width as this paper. I inked it and just put it right there. This is from the border paper too. It's another 1/2 inch stripe paper, 1/2 inch strip piece of paper to cover that spine, and I used this. You can see this. This is on this edge, and then I tried to kind of match the coral pieces so it looks like they're kind of flowing into each other here. That was my idea. They don't match exactly, but it looks pretty good. So that was that spine piece. So that is basically it for the cover. A pretty simple cover, very pretty. And this is it for this June folio. So let me know what you think of this beauty down in the description box, and we will be coming out with the July folio at the end of this month. So talk to you guys later. Bye.